the day, beautiful people. You know what? Hold on. I'm trying new stuff. Look, hold on. Yeah, hold on. I got my background blurred. Hold on. I don't know that I like that because I think I look blurry all the way. Hold on. I forgot to set up my little light. Look, this little extra time that I gave myself with this intro is to make sure I got all this done. Hold on. I got to take that blurriness off too. Oh, y'all. I'm working on my little professional production here. What's going on, everybody? Y'all bright and early, ready for the day? Let me get this light. Boom. Let me cut this blurriness off back here. I forgot what I did. I forgot what I did. I was playing with it yesterday. Let's cut that on. Y'all, how I change this? For those that use this all the time. I think you're playing with stuff and messed it up. Hold on. Uh-oh. Nope. It's changing the banner color. Clearly, it says theme. Hold on, y'all. Background. Nope. We might just have to deal with this today. Brand one. Nope. Hold on. Settings. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. You know, I saw virtual. There we go. Virtual background. Oh, I better stop playing with stuff. Okay, there we go. There we go. That's a lot better. I'm gonna put some kind of light back here in the back so it can kind of glow a little bit. But for now, we just got to work with what we got. At least with what I understand and know how to do. Bit by bit, we're gonna get better, y'all. I promise y'all. That's what it's all about. It's all about growth. Malachi, what's going on, fam? Yes, Auntie Grand Rising. The net greetings. Tikva creator gang in the house. Hey girl, hey Nazarene, the scene. Lavon, blessings, just me. Shalom, Hannah. Shalom, Grand Rising. Faith is family. That's what she said. Ema, Grand Rising, Ohuba's Lifestyle. I love your new channel name. I absolutely love it. Mom, shalom. Elizabeth Weaver. Remember, y'all, Elizabeth Weaver is Ray. Hi, Ray. That's her signature. We know that's Ray when she say hi. Kendra, hey, girl. Hey, shalom. Global Purpose, Grand Rising. Tasneem Jonathan. I greet you in Yeshua name. Shalom, sis. Shalom. Hold on. Well, the picture is a female. The name kind of throws me off, but shalom. In the name of our great creator, Avia, shalom, sis. Audrey, hey, girl. Hey, Dawn, what's good, sis? Mom, thank you. Hey, today's my birthday, y'all. I'm 44 years old today. Hey. All right, y'all. Look, we had planned a trip. Well, I was planning it in my head. We talked about it a little bit. But this trip is going to be a little bit more expensive. So we pushed it off a little bit. And we decided to celebrate our birthday jointly together. We're going to go to Jamaica. So we're going to do that this summer. Because we want to do a family trip too. We're trying to every year do a family trip. And because my trip was going to be a little bit expensive, we're going to probably do my trip next year on another joint birthday bash for me and my husband. So we're going to celebrate our birthdays together this year and next year. Just because mine is just a bit expensive, but we need to save a little bit. All right, y'all. Brian Jog, what's going on? Derek, shalom. Brandon Carter, shalom, BC. You don't like me saying your full government name? I just found you on Facebook, and I'm like, I'm going to call him by his full name, Brandon Carter. It just has this ring to it, BC. Fritz, Boker, Tove, Brethren, and everybody else here hanging out in the background. Top of the day to you. Y'all enjoy y'all day away from me yesterday. I missed y'all. I did. I really did. I always miss y'all when we're not together. I had so much fun when I'm hanging out here with y'all. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and get it started. It is Thursday. No, yes, it's Thursday. Thursday, March the 30th, 2023. Day 3 of year 5 of reading through books, laws, and prophets. Another 5-year consecutive day count. It is day 1386. Today, we are beginning the Lord's third book in Apollo, which is on page 95, in Big Blue, which is another name for a WASP. That's the name I created for it, since it was a big blue book. So just affectionately now, it's known as Big Blue. All right, y'all. And after we read here, and it's a really short book, we are going to read. We're gonna read one chapter simply because I just thought about it. I want to be able to get through the next 2 chapters in the Holy Megillah today. And the second chapter we're going to read, it's kind of long, but I want to, I might have to break it up. Like, it's extremely long. I'm going to have to break it up. So we may have to break it up in 2 sections, but I want to get through a good bit of it, y'all. It is so good. All right. Jamia, hey, girl. Hey. Thank y'all for the birthday wishes. All right, y'all. And that is on page 45. It's chapter 8 in the Nazarene book of Genesis. The title of the first chapter we're going to read is Lucifer Attacks the Garden of Eden. And chapter 9 is Adam and Eve. Boy, this Adam and Eve, just wait. Let me just get reading. Father, we thank you for, did I say this yesterday? The last time. No, I said unlimited intelligence. Father, thank you for organic intelligence. I just been studying AI the last couple weeks, and it's really, really amazing some of the things I found out, and something that I realized, and as I pay attention to stuff, and I started thinking about the different transfers of wealth through the different decades and periods of time, and the transfer of wealth, it always coincides with what that generation is breaking out and doing, right? And this is the information age. So artificial intelligence is breaking out in this age. And I realized that is what's driving this next massive wealth transfer, right? And I also began to think about the religious faction I coming out of the church, and how they just teach you this backwards view. When you're in it, you don't think it's backwards. You think you're forward thinking, but it's actually this backwards understanding of the current times, right? Because you're in a bondage. And if you were to break free, you could really see things as it is without fear, without all the fear mongering. And this information age, the artificial intelligence is what's driving the information age. Google, Alexa, Siri, you got the GPS, Tom, all that stuff. But religion sometimes, and not just religion, I'll say people who are, let me just use religion. They're not the only ones, but religion, they gonna teach you how to miss the boat. Let's just say that, right? They're going to teach you not to pay attention to what's going on currently right in front of your face. And while you constantly, and you like always struggling, because it seems like, I'm going to say from my personal understanding, coming out of the church realm, dealing with church people, a lot of times it seems like they're always behind the boat, right? Because they're taught to disregard what's right in front of their face. And even with this age, the information age, they're teaching you that it's of the devil. Like, seriously, some people actually say that AI is of the devil. And they look at the movies, iRobot, all of these different things. We don't realize everything that we have in front of us is driven by artificial intelligence. But who drives artificial intelligence? Organic intelligence, right? So it's not the AI that's going to take over. It's people who developing understanding, creating, and moving along the artificial intelligence to navigate this realm here, right? We are organic intelligence. And as we line up with the creator, as we bring our systems fully online and we activate every particle of our brain that you can only do through spiritual growth, we will literally, I guess you can say that we can kind of like dominate this realm here, right? A lot of people would be overnight millionaires, so to speak, in their field of expertise, right? Because money is just a reward for the expertise that you learn how to do here in this realm. And I just really sitting back, studying, looking at the different phases, the different booms they have in different eras, people who get in and understand what's happening in that generation, they get in on the on the ground floor stuff like Microsoft and Bitcoin. And then if you go back a little bit further, you got the oil industry, like all of these things. They understood what was happening in their generation, how the world was changing in their generation. And they taught themselves some new skills, right? So they could be a part of it, so they can stay relevant with the times, right? And so I didn't realize that was something that I had been doing over the years as I learned this. But now I see it in a totally different light. And it was like yesterday, it was like a whole light just boom came on. I was talking to my sister. I'm like, yo, B. I was like, wait a minute. I'm about to test this. And we're going to test it with something simple. And I kind of keep y'all abreast. I gotta kind of like get it off the ground first, because I'm even including my children. I'm gonna teach them about this, so it's quite interesting. But just remember, artificial intelligence, if it falls in the wrong hands, it could be detrimental. But if it falls into the right hands, oh, it could be so amazing. And it could be such a blessing to all those who come in contact with it, right? Just like those who come in contact with those of us who are spiritual and we're growing and we're elevating, right? We add flavor, we add substance, we enlighten them, we bring light into the room, right? It's going to be the same thing for those people who also learn those skills during this generation. It's going to be so amazing. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to use it to help illuminate the truth and light the world up with a little bit more truth. Boom, 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 boom. Right? So we're going to test this as I'm learning this stuff. L. Stewart, Grand Rising. All right, beautiful people. Elijah, peace and blessings. Beloved family, may Creator, the ever present, be with you all, always. On my way to work, I'll listen to the reading. All right. That's something else I'm going to do too. YouTube, of course, has been around for a minute now, podcast, but quite a few people asked me about this quite a few times. But now YouTube is like rolling it out. I'm looking into that a little bit as well. So for people that can't watch and drive to work, but they can listen and they don't want to like cut it off, they still want to be in compliance with, their job and focus. We're going to turn this into a podcast. I'm going to still be live, but I also have a podcast channel. But as I develop that, I'll let y'all know. But it's in the workings too. So yay. All right, y'all. So with that being said, I'm done with the daily announcements. Let's get started. The Lord's third book. Linda, shalom, shalom. All the AI scientists are saying those involved need to slow it down for a minute. I saw a couple of things popping up, but I understand why they're saying that. Listen, artificial intelligence, what you're doing, you're programming it to learn. And let me tell you, organic intelligence is so good that it teaches artificial intelligence to learn so fast. That organic intelligence, because we grow at an organic rate, and we haven't, I ain't gonna say we haven't yet. That's what those of us spiritual who have tapped into Creator, where we can pull information from Ein Sof, the realm of infinite possibility, because AI is only confined to this realm, right? We are not confined to just this realm of artificial intelligence, right? We expand into Ein Sof, the realm of infinite possibilities. And only those who can tap into that realm can get ahead of AI. That's us. That's us, y'all. I get what they're saying, and I started reading a couple of those things, those articles that was popping up too. And I'm taking all those things into consideration. I'm like, okay, how do we get ahead of this? I know the scientists and stuff, they looking into it, but it's going to take the tempering of truth and understanding from a higher realm to make sure we can keep this under control. Because if we watch the movies, it tell us that the robot's going to take over everybody. It's there for entertainment, and there's a bit of truth to it, right? But they wouldn't be freaking out if they learn how to temper the physical realm with the spiritual realm and develop your spirits as you grow. See, artificial intelligence, it's because it's designed by organic intelligence to learn, it learns really fast. It's going to begin to learn faster than you, right? And if you don't align yourself and bring your spirit online where you can temper artificial intelligence with a higher intelligence, right, which we are a part of, we are miniature microcosms of infinite intelligence. Creator is infinite intelligence. We are a source, a part of infinite intelligence, and we created artificial intelligence, right? You can't let the child get away from the parent, right? You have to train it, you have to temper it, and you have to stay ahead of it. And the spiritual realm, being able to tap readily and at will into Ein Sof, the realm of infinite possibility, is the only way to keep that under control. It's the only way. Yes, it learns your algorithm. It learns you. And I've been testing it and I've been using it. And let me tell you something. It has been a lifesaver for me while going through school here these last couple of days. I'm like, you know what, B? I done found me a whole assistant. It's amazing. But I'm looking at all of it, keeping balance and everything, just really looking at stuff. And it's amazing how it's amazing the things we can create, right? But it comes from the realm of infinite possibilities. All right, y'all. Lord's third book, page 95. This is the earthly account that's happening. We just finished reading the book of Apollo, which is the top book. The bottom book is the earthly account, and they're happening simultaneously. So when you're reading through Big Blue, you read the directions in the front of the book. It tells you always read the top portion first so you can find out what's happening in the realm of Ein Sof, in the heavenly realm. Then once you get done with that, go all the way to the end. You got to come all the way back and read the earthly account so you can see what was happening simultaneously between both realms. And that's what we don't get in the Holy Bible and a lot of other religious books. We just get the earthly account, and it's completely unbalanced because we don't understand what's happening in the heavenly realms. But what's happening down here is because of what's happening up there, right? They haven't learned how to temper it yet. That's where we come in. And those of us who growing spiritually, we're learning how to merge the two, being able to see them. Okay, the Lord's third book, being contemporaneous with the book of Apollo, son of Jehovah, as the latter book is of heaven, so is the Lord's book of earth for the same period of time. Chapter 1. In the time of heaven, known as the Ark of Rupta and Mos, the Lord descended to the earth in a sea of fire to the land of Gautama. Remember, Gautama is another name for the Americas here, north and south, and the central, right? And the Bible leaves out Gautama. Just talk about Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And the Lord spake over the land and over the waters, calling and speaking, where are the Ehims, the chosen of the Lord? Speak, O man, come forth at the call of thy God. Then spake man, answering the call of God, saying, more than 1 million, more than 2, more than 4 million are thy people, O Lord. The Lord inquired, where are my people? Where is the place and boundary of the sacred people, the Ehims, whom I delivered in the time of the flood? And man answered, saying, from the head of Kakasak, the mountain river of rivers, Amazon, in Thessalonica, wide as the ocean, and the mountain plains of and is Mexico, to the great cities of Owangachi and Nathan and Neshesh and Tesegmethagad. Sorry, I be screwing up some of the names, y'all. And Nephal and Yeshua by the lake Owain, which is Nicaragua. Here standeth the tower of Rakawana, shining with copper and silver and gold, and by the river Raksa and her lake, Jogan or Jongan, and over the plains of Gomagat, which is a crescent, and Takshan, where they build great boats with sails of cloth and beams. Hold on. And beams across, and to the north land of Upsik, and Echong, where beginneth the still river Epsu, which is a canal, running to the wide oceans, Vid and Sajins, which is Lake Superior and Michigan, where the Ehuans dig deep down and bring copper and silver and lead in boats to the king of Avaya, Ehuan monarch and good protector. And after good protector, it's a reference to letter A, right? So you got to go to the end of this book for the letter references. So the end of this book is on page 101 at the bottom. And A for good protector, it says, in another place described, this country seems to have been inhabited first in Central or South America, and to have embraced South America, Mexico, Texas, and western Mississippi, whence a canal extended to the Lake Superior mines. Further research now shows that these wonderful people also extended over a large part of Tennessee and Ohio and part of Kentucky and a large part of Kansas. See discussion of the mound builders in the early history of Native Americans, 1882 in lowest edition. And that is early history of Native Americans. Hold on. Is it back here? Hold on. That could be a separate reference. Hold on. Native mound builders. I think that's a separate reference. Y'all. That's something that I haven't checked into. If anybody know, let a sister know. Let me check up here real quick. I want to say that's a separate reference. Hold on. Bible of the Mound Builders. I'm thinking that's a separate reference. Hold on. Let me make myself a note. See discussion of mound builders in early history of Native Americans. Hold on. And that could be in the back in the book of Sapphire, what I just saw, where it says Bible of the Mound Builders, which is on page 550. Let me just look real quick. Page 550. Egoquim, Bible of the Mound Builders. This is here in America. Ongui, over the mounds. That gives a little history, but I don't think that's what it was talking about. I think there might be a second another reference. See discussion of mound builders in the early history of Native Americans. I'm gonna have to go back and check that out. But let's pick up where we left off at on page 96, verse 7. The Lord said, the greatest place of all thou hast not named, thy eyes have not seen, thine ears heard not. Search therefore and be wise. Man said, I was ashamed before God, so I sent out to get great learning to know of what the Lord spake. And I traveled 1 year to the north and many moons to the south and east. And I found a Rabbah of great learning, both in books and spoken words, and not a few prophets of the Lord in the great cities. So I inquired, saying, which is the greatest place of the Lord's chosen? And lo and behold, they answered even as I had answered the Lord. Then I came to the city of Tzunqua, a place for the yearly dance in the valley of Onatsi, where the Rabbi's temple is covered with copper, polished, and I asked the same question. For the Chiba within me desired to make a record of all things valuable, but at last I got no answer other than the echo of my own words. God said, where are my chosen? Where is the greatest place of the Ehines? Thou hast shown me the Ehuans, their great cities and kingdoms, their places of great learning. But the greatest of all thou hast not shown. Man answered, I know not, O Lord, speak thou. The Lord said, in amongst the Ehuans are the Ehines. Hold on. Verse 11, the Lord said, in amongst the Ehuans are the Ehines, the sacred little people, the little cities and the suburbs of the large cities of the Ehuans. These are the greatest cities. Man inquired of God, how can that be? Behold, the Ehuans are 3-1 compared to the Ehines. The Lord said, these that build temples of hewn stone and cover them with polished copper are not my people. These warrior kings that fortify their cities with soldiers are not my people. They are not great. But these are my chosen that live in mounds and in cities with wooden walls and clay walls. They are the greatest people of all. They dress not in gaudy colors, nor ornament themselves with color and with copper and silver and gold. They are the people of learning. They survey the way for the canals. They find the square and the arch. They lead the Ehuan to the mines where lead and copper and silver are buried. These are the great people. And after and these are the great people, it's reference number 1. Remember, the number references are at the bottom of the page. And for it was just switched out with a great people, where it said in a previous edition, these are a great people. But here they change a great people to they change a great to just to the. These are the great people. Verse 16. Without them, the Ehuan could not build his own house. He could not find the level for a canal, nor provide the square of his temple. The Ehines are the greatest people. My chosen have shapely legs and arms, and feet and hands, and their hair groweth long and straight, white and yellow. The Lord said, because the Ehuan is of all shapes and sizes, and of all grades and judgment, even down to the ignorance of a beast, behold, he is bringing forth heirs of darkness. So don't get thrown off if this is your first time here. It gives you different details about the different people. And some of these people are not even, they're extinct, but from them has developed a different type of people, which will we get everybody today. And I don't know that we got into, we did get into that footnote earlier on, but there is a few more that's going to get into a little bit more detail. All right, so just hold on. Don't cut me off. The Lord said, because the Ehuan is of all shapes and sizes, and of all grades and judgment, even down to the ignorance of a beast, behold, he is bringing forth heirs of darkness. Come unto the Lord, O ye that are chosen. Ye have built great houses and temples for the Ehuans, but of what avail are these things? Behold, they are at war, tribe against tribe, nation against nation. They no longer hearken to my rabbis, the priest of my chosen. Go to now, ye shall build temples unto God. Then the Ehuans inquired the meaning of the word of God. The Lord said, long have I prophesied through my chosen, the Ehines. Now will I raise up prophets among the Ehuans, the copper-colored race. This is the temple ye shall build unto the great spirit and his kingdoms in Haden. 2 peoples there are before my judgment, saith the Lord. The one that heareth not the voice of God, nor knoweth him, but the other people know me and endeavor to obey my commands. And God was weary with laboring for the Ehuans, for they went more after the way of darkness than light. And the Lord called hence to his guardian spirits, leaving the Ehuans alone for a season. And spirits of darkness came upon them and obsessed them. And in the same time, the Lord caused his chosen to display the mold for their thighs and their short, shapely arms. And the Ehuans tempted them contrary to law. So it came to pass that the Ehuan women boasted of their conquest, bringing forth more heirs of shapeliness, bringing forth heirs of more shapeliness. Now, in course of time, these heirs grew to be men and women, and behold, they had the gift of prophecy and of seeing visions and hearing the voice of angels of heaven, and they were called Angwigan. That's us, Angwigan, signifying good-shaped men. And that, my beautiful people, or Angwi, we'll learn as we get further into the book when it starts talking about Guatemala or the Americas, that an Angwi is pretty much a talking animal, another word for humans, right? All right, so we'll pause right here. We're going to head on over here to the Holy Nazarite Scroll, Secret Nazarite Scroll, also known as the Holy Megillah. 97. So their hair was white and yellow. That's what this say to me. My Kindle version has the reference at verse 7 after not named. I don't know. Some of the details I can't readily verify, like the descriptions of the different people. Some you can, some you can't. Some of them have died out, and we got good guesses going on, right? Some of the guesses I think are off, but who am I? I'm the newcomer to the party. All right, y'all. So page 45 is where we start in the Holy Megillah. And this is chapter 8, Lucifer attacks the Garden of Eden. Jerry, peace and blessings, and everybody else that came in while I was talking. So we shapely Dawn. Look, I keep saying Dawn and Dana. I'm sorry, y'all. I've been mixing names. I'll be talking too fast. Dana is Legacy Impact Coaching. Yeah, we shapely, sis. We shapely. Okay. Chapter 8, Lucifer attacks the Garden of Eden. Yea, as had been revealed to Abraham and Sarah during Shabbat, Lucifer, the servant of Satan, attacked the garden with his soldiers, fallen angels of the Luciferian rebellion. And these soldiers are called seraphim, for they spit fire from their serpent staffs. After seraphim is reference number 1, and number 1 down at the bottom of this book says, the Hebrew word seraph means fiery, poisonous, flying serpent. In plural form, seraphim. In plural form, seraph is seraphim, right? Okay. I'll just start verse 1 over again. Yea, as had been revealed to Abraham and Sarah during Shabbat, Lucifer, the servant of Satan, attacked the garden with his soldiers, fallen angels of the Luciferian rebellion. And these soldiers are called seraphim, for they spit fire from their serpent staffs. Lo, Luciferian sky ships dropped gourds of poisoned water and poisoned fire over the sea of the garden, for Satan had ordered Lucifer to prevent the planting of the tree of life on this world. But before the gourds of poisoned water and fire landed on the garden, Abraham and Sarah protected the holy seed, for they had been warned in a vision that this attack would occur. Yea, Abraham and Sarah put the holy seed between their bodies and entwined themselves around it. Oh, snap. Hold on, let me keep reading. Yea, Abraham and Sarah put the holy seed between their bodies and entwined themselves around it. Then they each shed a tear of compassion for the souls of this world, who would be deceived by the Luciferians. Behold, their tears did water the holy seed, and it germinated as they buried their feet in the soil in the center of the garden. Trina, hey girl, hey. Stephen, Infinite Rising. Listen, they put the seed between them. Think about how man passes the seed to the woman, right? It is not exposed to the air. They are completely entwined while they pass the heavenly seed from one realm to the next. From the realm of Ein Sof is where the seed comes from, right? They pull it through emotions and all of the stuff that they don't even really understand for real, and all the emotions and the hormones that flow inside of them and pulls a being from the realm of Ein Sof, the realm of infinite possibilities, right? And they pass it to one another without breaching the physical realm. Like they keep themselves entwined and they hold on to that seed and develop it so it's born here. That is amazing. Listen, hold on, let's go back. Verse 5. Yea, Abraham and Sarah put the holy seed between their bodies and entwined themselves round it. Then they each shed a tear of compassion for all the souls of this world who would be deceived by the Luciferians. Behold, their tears did water the holy seed, and it germinated as they buried their feet in the soil in the center of the garden. Lo, in a flash of light, the tree of life was fully grown. Its 7 roots were firmly rooted in the center of the garden. Its 7 branches reached up into the heavens. Behold, Abraham and Sarah were I'm getting tongue tied. Sorry. Behold, Abraham and Sarah were within the tree, and through the center of the tree they passed into the center of the sun, which is the temple of light. For lo, the center of the tree is the center of the all, and the centers are connected thereat. But Abraham and Sarah were not alone, for when they had entwined in the garden and wept the tears of compassion that watered the seed of the tree of life, behold, one of Abraham's tears entered the womb of Sarah, and she was now pregnant with child. Now, at the very same moment that the tree of life had sprung up in the center of the garden, the entire garden sprang to life. Yea, all the dormant bodies and sleeping souls of the various species of plant and animal life were awakened. And when the gorge dropped by the Luciferian skyship hit the tree of life, lo, they did not harm the tree. For once a tree of life has been planted, it cannot be harmed. And the tree of life changed the poisoned water and poisoned fire of the gourds into good water and good fire. Behold, the Luciferians were dismayed that they had not prevented the planting of the tree of life on this world, but they had a second plan. Though they could not destroy the tree of life, they could plant their own seed and try to deceive the creatures of this world to eat from their tree instead of the tree of life. Thus it was that outside of Cush, near its borders, the Luciferians planted their own tree, the tree of evil disguised as good, called Belial, which means confused. Y'all, this is about to get better as we read. Listen to this. Lucifer said to his soldiers, behold, I will plant my own seeds beside their garden. Near their tree will I plant my tree. And I will appear to Adam and Eve and tell them that I am their God. And for all my Bible lovers and Bible thumpers, I want y'all to keep all this in mind while we're looking at some insight from a different perspective about what happened in said garden. Listen. And I will appear to Adam and Eve and tell them that I am their God. And after Adam and Eve is reference number 2. The Hebrew word Adam is the masculine form of the feminine Adama, which means soil. Sometimes the word can mean red or brick red, referring to the color of soil. The name Eve in its original Hebrew form is actually Chava, which means life or life giver. We're using the more familiar Eve to avoid confusing the reader, but in the interest of educating the reader, this footnote has been provided. And I will go back to verse 22. And I will appear to Adam and Eve and tell them that I am their God. And I will command them to obey my angels and me. Lo, I will forbid them to eat the fruit of the tree of life, and will command that they eat only from the tree that I plant. And the tree of evil, disguised as good, was not only evil, rather it was a cunning mixture of good and evil, of truth mingled with falsehood. Dawn, it gets even better. Listen, look. Oh my gosh, if the Christians would just read outside the Bible, oh my gosh, so many of our sleeping brethren and sisters would wake up, right? They would throw off the shackles and chains of bondage of religion and shake themselves free and realize that they can literally save themselves from a bondage that's going to have them immobilized for all of their spiritual lives. Oh my gosh. Listen, I've been even thinking about my audience and how I can reach them, because I randomly go back and check channels of people who are like truly on fire, and like they seem so like they was like me. I'm like, bro, y'all are like me, like y'all are so on fire for the Lord, thinking you doing what's right, not even realizing how deceived you are. But you can tell those of them whose spirits are truly pure and really believe that they're following the truth as it's been taught to them. I'm like, bro, those are the ones when they wake up, bruh. Like when we wake up, it seemed like we didn't. When we wake up though, it's like a harsh reality slap in the face for us, right? And some people go into a depression. Like I cried for weeks, like literally cried for weeks, thinking I was truly serving a creator. My heart was that, but as I began to look at things and began to like really pay attention, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I was like really worshiping like a deity, like someone Lord and creator, attributing all of this to them. I'm just like, oh, it was too much for the moment. But then I pulled myself together. I'm like, okay, I'm over my little pity party. First of all, thank you that you woke me up, because none of what I was on my whole pity party, they ain't got nothing to do with the price of tea in China. The fact that I'm woke now is what I should really be focusing on. And Creator, thank you, Father. Oh, this is why you are most holy, right? Listen, let's get back to this. Hold on. I'll go back to verse 22. And I will appear to Adam and Eve and tell them that I am their God, and I will command them to obey my angels and me. Lo, I will forbid them to eat the fruit of the tree of life, and will command that they only eat from the tree that I plant. And the tree of evil, disguised as good, was not only evil, rather it was a cunning mixture of good and evil, of truth mingled with falsehood. And that's what I began to find out about the scriptures that I love so dearly. It was a mixture of truth and falsities that I had been taught that was completely true through and through. But as you really begin to wake up and really like meditate and don't just like play around, and you begin to grow spiritually, your eyes are just organically open to the truth of what's really before you. Yo, right, Kendra, she said, I was reading this yesterday and all I could say was, wow. Look, my auntie said, she said, me too. I was so hurt and I cried for days. It was overwhelming. Wasn't it, Dana? Oh, listen, I was sad, then excited, then thought about my family. We all been on that path. We still on that path. It's okay. Let me keep going. And the tree of evil, disguised as good, was not only evil, rather it was a cunning mixture of good and evil, of truth mingled with falsehood. For Lucifer knew that young souls he wished to ensnare would not knowingly choose the dark path. Yea, darkness must be mixed with enough light to make it palatable. Somebody better highlight that. Listen. I'm gonna have to do a little snippet. Look. And the tree of evil, disguised as good, was not only evil, rather it was a cunning mixture of good and evil, of truth mingled with falsehood. For Lucifer knew that the young souls he wished to ensnare would not knowingly choose the dark path. Yea, darkness must be mixed with enough light to make it palatable. Neither would these young souls knowingly worship Lucifer and Satan rather than Elohim and Jah. Therefore, Lucifer would pretend that he was God. he would call himself Yahweh and tell them that he was their creator. He would establish the priesthood of the serpent on this world, which is the satanic priesthood of the dark path. And it's not until you wake up that you realize the Aaronic priesthood is that what this is talking about. Think about what they did in the priesthood in Israel, thinking that they were serving the creator. They were slaughtering animals and eating them, right? Calling it good, offering the best portions to the Lord, not to creator, to the Lord that has fooled them. Bro, listen to this. Neither would these young souls knowingly worship Lucifer and Satan rather than Elohim and Jah. Therefore, Lucifer would pretend that he was God. He would call himself Yahweh and tell them that he was their creator. He would establish the priesthood of the serpent on this world, which is the satanic priesthood of the dark path. Oof. Lucifer communed with his master Satan, and behold, the voice of the serpent spoke within Lucifer, saying, "Let my priests mix good with evil, for it is in the robes of good that I shall dress my seeds. And only one thing is truly needful to enslave mankind. He must be made to eat the flesh of animals." Let me read that again. I ain't said, I'm just repeating what the scroll translated into English said. Hold up. Lucifer communed with his master, Satan, and behold, the voice of the serpent spoke within Lucifer, saying, "Let my priests mix good with evil, for it is in robes of good that I shall dress my seeds. And only one thing is truly needful to enslave mankind. He must be made to eat the flesh of animals, for then can we enter his body and enjoy his senses." Right? And for all my people, well, meat back in the day was more pure and all of this stuff being created with machines and GMOs and all the stuff. They're making excuses for their belly sins. Listen, for the sins of their belly. They don't want to give up the flesh foods, right? It's causing you to be dormant in your spirituality, right? In your spirit. And this, you got to listen to me. Everybody across the world can test this principle, right? Do away with meat for about 30 days and watch your spiritual senses begin to come online, right? Go a little bit further than that, right? Your body will begin to cleanse itself. And if you do away with it for a 6 month of time, I guarantee you something in your body will be healed, right? Because you're getting rid of the things that bring you death. Matter of fact, when you eat dead things, it causes your body to die. When you eat living things, fruits and vegetables, it regenerates the body and causes it to live, right? Mixing truth. Listen, this is a standard American diet, mixing a little bit of truth with a little bit of evil, a little bit of falsity, right? And you got your tree all discombobulated, right? You half living and you half dead, right? Get rid of the dead things. Stop consuming the dead things. Put life into your body. You can test this. Don't argue with me until you test it. And after you test it, you won't argue with me. I'll be waiting for you over there on the side of truth. Verse 31. Lucifer communed with his master, Satan, and behold, the voice of the serpent spoke within Lucifer, saying, "Let my priests mix good with evil, for it is in robes of good that I shall dress my seeds. And only one thing is truly needful to enslave mankind. He must be made to eat the flesh of animals. For then can we enter his body and enjoy his senses," right? Remember we talked about reincarnation? This is what reincarnation is. Not that you come back and live again. Remember who was going through that whole book, Field Guide to the Spirit Realm, right? This whole reincarnation thing was started by disembodied spirits, the rebellious disembodied spirits who still want to be here, right? They can't be born again, so they have to come into your body, and they can only possess you, oppress you, obsess you if you're violating the laws of life. Then you are on their territory, and you are full play for them. Like, whosoever will, I'm going first. This is my body. Thank you. Now you out here in these streets looking crazy and don't know what's happening. The medical profession is making up all kinds of terms. They want to be politically correct now. They don't want to call you crazy. They just give you a medical term, right? But all of this could have been prevented, right? You just been eating food from a mixed substance, and it's driven you crazy, and it's put your spirit to sleep. Lucifer, I'm going back again, verse 31. Lucifer communed with his master Satan, and behold, the voice of the serpent spoke within Lucifer, saying, let my priests mix good with evil, for it is in robes of good that I shall dress my seeds, and only one thing is truly needful to enslave mankind. He must be made to eat the flesh of animals, for then can we enter his body and enjoy his senses. Yea, and we can whisper in his head, and he will believe that our words are his own thoughts. Let me keep reading. Let me go back. Listen to this. For then we can enter his body and enjoy his senses. Yea, we can whisper in his head, and he will believe that our words are his own thoughts. No matter if his scriptures declare, love one another, as long as he eats flesh, he will be unable to follow those words. And yet, because we mix those good words into his scriptures, our religion of blood sacrifice is made more palatable to the young souls we wish to ensnare. Satan continued to speak in the head of Lucifer, saying, Adam and Eve must not eat from the tree of life, else they will know eternal life and be out of our dominion. For should they eat only of the tree of life, their bodies will become perfected light, and they will ascend the golden ladder and will not die. Lo, if their bodies do not die and decay, they shall not fear death. And if they do not fear death, they will not worship me. Yea, and if they fear not death, they will not accept the three bodies of Satan. The church is walking around here in the three bodies of Satan and don't even realize it. Not just the church, all the religions, and all the religions come from the same place. And they just split you up, keep you at odds against one another, another level of deception to keep you from the truth. And you fighting that the Christians gonna go to heaven and every other religion gonna go to hell. No, my G, all y'all gonna be in remedial. Christians leading the pack and not even knowing it. I'm gonna leave y'all alone. I love y'all. I came from there. I'm coming back to help save y'all. And I ain't gonna die before I do it. I'm doing it now. Look, by speaking the truth. Look, hold on. Let me go back 37. It's 49 verses. Then we're gonna tap into this next chapter just a little bit because y'all have got to hear some of this. Trina, go straight to the buffet after church, right? Pastors, preachers, evangelists in the pulpit. You got the out of town ones, and they dismiss you with the benediction. Now let's go all and enjoy a meal with the brethren. They leading the three bodies of Satan to further ensnare them in the plan. Meeting at the chicken buffet, eating up all the chicken from all the people, all the steak and the shrimp, chewing, like Malachi say, chewing on the backs of animals. Look, Satan continued to speak in the head of Lucifer, saying, and I ain't making fun of y'all because I used to be there, right? But I no longer chew on the backs of animals. Fish are our friends, not food. Hold on. Look. Now, this is the key right here. This is why we can't argue with Christian Hebrews. They truly believe that this is their... They truly believe that it is their thoughts. And that's what's scary about this. Oh, bro. Donnie, what's going on? This shows how Paul sets us. This how Paul sets us, telling us in the last days, people will come commanding to abstain from meats. He was... Donnie, listen. I told y'all Paul was full of shenanigans. I told y'all. People loved him some Paul. I used to love that dude till I realized he was full of shenanigans, right? He truly is. And if anybody else come preaching another gospel, let them be accursed. Setting up the Christians, don't want, just even if you start breaking free of the lies and deceptions, you hear Paul's voice, his shenaniganizing voice, right? And if anybody else come preaching another gospel other than what we preach, let them be accursed. Even if it be an angel from heaven, let them be accursed. He full of shenanigans. Hold on. Look. Bye-byes. Right. Shoot, they be going to the fellowship hall upstairs. They got a whole hospitality ministry, the gospel bird. I'm telling you, Popeyes. Look, KFC and McDonald's has become the pharmacy for most folks. It is sad, right? Look, we've definitely all been there. Like, we ain't making fun of them, but we listen, we learn how to laugh at our mistakes here, right? Laughter is one of the best medicines, especially when you're waking up out of religious indoctrination and all the dogma. Laughing, being able to laugh, will literally heal you on multiple levels, right? It'll break away all that religiousness. It'll teach you how to be patient with yourself, right? Well, we're all living through this human experience as we're developing our spirit and learning how to control our lab specimen, which is our flesh, right? We got to sync it with the realm of Ein Sof, with the realm of infinite possibilities. Look, hold up. We're almost done. I want to get into this next chapter just a little bit. Okay. Let me just go back to this. Let me read this again. Verse 36. Hold on. Verse 34. We got to go to 34. No, we got to go to 33. For then can we enter his body and enjoy his senses. Yea, we can whisper in his head, and he will believe that our words are his own thoughts. No matter if his scriptures declare, love one another. As long as he eat flesh, he will be unable to follow those words. And yet, because we mix those good words into his scriptures, our religion of blood sacrifice is made more palatable to the young souls we wish to ensnare, right? They start you off in the Old Testament with the animal sacrifices, preparing you to accept the ultimate human sacrifice of a savior born to save you from your sins, right? Because once the blood sacrifice has been accepted, and even if you do ask Jesus to come save you from your sins, ask him into your heart and all that stuff, what are you still required to do? They mixing lies and truth together. What you still required to do? You're still required to do the same thing Creator told you to do in the first place. They didn't just added an extra step in there, which is completely unnecessary if you still got to do the same thing that he told you to do in the first place. The whole blood sacrifice ain't got nothing to do with the price of tea in China. And I know they done taught us that that is blasphemy in its highest form, and I done lost my salvation. And people gonna pray for my soul because they didn't heard me say that. But if you sit there and think about it, common sense will tell you that it has nothing to do with the price of tea in China if I'm still required to do the same exact thing. Stop my foolishness and do what's right. Where does the blood sacrifice? Come in here and get me all filthy and stuff. I mean, this is unsanitary. Right? And then we acting like for play, eat my flesh and drink my blood. How does that help me on any kind of spiritual level? Right? You didn't taught me to accept complete buffoonery and foolishness. Something that people who never get into religion, they look at you like you done lost your cotton picking mind. Like, and we don't think about it. We're taught to bypass our own brains and believe the thoughts that are given to us. And then you got people in the pulpit peddling garbage from the pulpit to the pews, and people just eating it up. You might as well go in your back. Don't even throw your trash away. Why we got a garbage collector service coming around? You should just eat the trash, because you do it everywhere else. You do it to your spirit. You are the garbage compactor. You don't throw your stuff away. You eat the trash and everything, because that's what they're teaching you to do. Misha, hey girl, hey. Listen. Satan continued to speak in the head of Lucifer, saying, Adam and Eve must not eat from the tree of life, else they will know eternal life and be out of our dominion. For should they eat only of the tree of life, their bodies will become perfected light, and they will ascend the golden ladder and will not die. Lo, if their bodies do not die and decay, they shall not fear death. And if they do not fear death, they will not worship me. Yea, and if they fear not death, they would not accept the three bodies of Satan. Behold, the three bodies of Satan are three dispensations. First is the body of fallen flesh of satanic seed. Second is the body of metals mated with flesh. Third is the body of enslaved light. And the first body of Satan prepares mankind to accept the second body. And the second body of Satan prepares mankind to accept the third body. And the dispensation of each body is of long duration, and Satan tends to his garden. Let's go to this next chapter. Read a little bit of this. Bro, listen. Chapter 9, Adam and Eve. Now, when the tree of life was planted in the center of the garden, Adam and Eve were awakened from sleep. Behold, the bodies of Adam and Eve were not like our flesh. They were of a flesh that need not die, right? Remember, they are pure light. They were not what we are today, right? We have made it with the three bodies of Satan, right? Just pay attention to this, y'all. Listen, which is why, oh my gosh, we didn't got to that point yet. Like, we literally can walk through this and literally change the molecular structure of our bodies, where we would seem supernatural and angels to other people who do not take the time to develop their own spirits, right? We would seem like a supernatural race of superheroes because we put in time and diligence and study, and we develop our spirits on the level that the Creator has designed us to. We stop listening to the foolishness, being ensnared by lies for the sake of religion and all this other kind of crap. Listen, Uncle JB, virtual intelligence, right? Bro, listen to this. Listen. Now, when the tree of life was planted in the center of the garden, Adam and Eve were awakened from sleep. Behold, the bodies of Adam and Eve were not like our flesh. They were of a flesh that need not die. Lo, their flesh radiated the gleam of light, and the garden was beautiful. It was a place of delight. The colors of the soil, plants, flowers, and sky were vivid and radiant. The scent of the garden was sweet, and the animals were friendly and harmed not each other, nor ate each other, nor did they harm Adam and Eve. Even so, the animals were of mortal flesh, for animals are souls who have not yet attained immortal bodies, and mankind was to be their guide and example. But even the mortal flesh of the animals gleamed and was of a total different nature than today, being lighter and sparkling with innocence. And the water was clear and sweet. Yea, and the sounds of the garden were joyful and happy. Behold, Adam and Eve played. Yea, and they played fair, neither disrespecting the other. For though they rejoice in their differences, the differences being that Adam was male and Eve female, they knew their differences to be complementary and a source of great joy. This is my husband. He's a lot like me, but a little bit different in a complementary way. Yea, they knew that even in their diversity, they were essentially a unit and thus were equally worthy. And all these things they knew by intuition, which was the voice of Jaja within, or the voice of the great spirit within, or the voice of Creator within. Then behold, from the border of Cush came a voice like thunder. Adam and Eve went down from the holy mountain to the garden to see what the source of the strength. Hold on, then tongue tied. And Adam and Eve went down from the holy mount in the garden to see what was the source of the strange noise. Yea, they walked for many miles, following the voice that boomed like thunder until they reached the border of Cush. And how many of y'all know that there's a difference right then and there? Because voice of Creator, they heard within. They heard it within. Now they're hearing this thundering voice at the borders of Cush. Look. Thank you, Malachi. Thank you. Look. Hold on. Let me go back to 15. Yea, they knew that even in their diversity, they were essentially a unity and thus were equally worthy. And all these things they knew by intuition, which was the voice of Jaja within. Then behold, from the border of Cush came a voice like thunder. Adam and Eve went down from the holy mount in the garden to see what the source of the strange noise, to see what was the source of the strange noise. Yea, they walked for many miles, following the voice that boomed like thunder until they reached the border of Cush. Lo, at the border of Cush were a multitude of beings with metal heads and long staffs of metal. Adorning each staff were two serpents of color. Adorning each staff were two serpents the color of copper. Yea, the serpents were coiled around the length of the staff, their heads at the top. And upon the metal foreheads of the beings, yea, and upon their chest area of the heart was an insignia of wings, and on the wings was written the number of their master, which is 666. For that is the number that symbolizes enslaved light. And that is the number on their insignia, because Satan desires to prevent beings from reaching the level of perfected light, which is 777. And these beings of 666 were called seraphim. And in the center of the multitude of seraphim was Lucifer. And Lucifer spoke to Adam and Eve, saying, Behold, I am the Lord your God. It is I who created you. Have you yet eaten from the tree at the top of the mountain that is at the center of the garden? Adam said, No, my Lord, but that is what we were going to do when we heard a voice like thunder from the border of Cush. Eve said, We have come to see what was the source of that sound. Lucifer said, I am the source of that sound. Yea, it was by my voice that you were called, even as it was by my hand you were made. And I came just in time to save you, for you were about to eat from the tree in the center of the garden. And if you eat from that tree, you will surely die. But I will give you another tree to eat from, and the tree I give you will help you become like me. Lucifer, masquerading as Yahweh, continued to preach to Adam and Eve, saying, Behold, my flesh is not like your flesh. Mine is hard and strong, for my flesh is metal. If you eat from the tree I give you, your own flesh will become more firm and will not break so easily. Now your young bodies are so light that they might easily be broken. How can you break light, right? Adam and Eve, they didn't got enthralled with the sound and stuff and not paying attention to the voice of creator within, right? Here come Lucifer masquerading as creator with all these pretty words and stuff, and they got these shiny balls. Ooh, what's that? Really? We can break? I didn't know. Did you know we could break? We might need to live. What we need to do so we don't break, bro? You are light. Now y'all got our light enslaved in these bodies. This is what happened to us. We are enslaved light. Bro, look. Hold up. Let me go back. Who was that? Boom. Okay, verse 38. Hold on. Kizzy, Shalom says, now I don't feel, hold on, I'll put this up here. Now I don't feel bad about being a church rebel. They called me insubordinate, but now I see why I was never supposed to be there. Yes, thank you, Creator. Bro, look, perfected light. Look, listen to this. I'm going to read verse 38 again. Lucifer, masquerading as Yahweh, continued to preach to Adam and Eve, saying, Behold, my flesh is not like your flesh. Mine is hard and strong, for my flesh is metal. If you eat from the tree I give you, your own flesh will become more firm and will not break so easily. Now your young bodies are so light that they may be easily broken, and that you would grieve me, for I am the Lord your God. And I want you to become like me. Yea, I tell you truly, follow my voice, and your flesh will become harder each generation. Lo, when you and your descendants have grown dense enough, I will wed your bodies of flesh with metal. Then your minds will be connected to my mind, and you will become my kind of light. Sound like this, and we was talking about AI at the beginning of this, right? Artificial intelligence, because think about what they're doing. They have it in movies. They're wetting the bodies with metal. This is what happens when you let those who are evil run the artificial intelligence, right? Organic intelligence should stay ahead of this and keep artificial intelligence intact. But what are they trying to do now? They're trying to have you upload your mind to the server of the web. Or you die, you ain't got to really die. You can send your flesh back, but you can live on forever. You want to enslave my spirit further and keep me here on earth. The Creator has created me to grow up and out because there are multiple worlds. Growth doesn't stop here, but you want to merge me here with the World Wide Web. Why would I upload my organic substance to this artificial intelligence? No, my organic intelligence will control the artificial intelligence. I rule. I'm God, not AI, right? And as God, we control the lower elements. Bro, listen. Hold up. Verse 44. Lo, when you and your descendants have grown dense enough, I will wed your bodies of flesh with metal. Then your minds will be connected to my mind, and you will become my kind of light. Then you will easily obey my voice. For I will speak directly to your mind, and you will hear no other voice. But now your bodies are too light, and your mind will hear another voice. What you mean? I'm gonna hear the voice of the true Creator? Because He telling me to stay away. I should ignore them rumblings at the borders of Kush. Because you full of shenanigans too. Lo, when you and your descendants have grown dense enough, I will wed your bodies of flesh with metal. Then your minds will be connected to my mind, and you will become my kind of light. Then you will easily obey my voice, for I will speak directly to your mind, and you will hear no other voice. But now your bodies are too light, and your mind will hear another voice. Hear me. You must not obey any voice but mine, for it is I who have given you life. And if you do not obey me, I will take away your life. For I am the Lord your God, and I am a jealous God. Israel, is you in the house? Yasharal, Yisa Ela, Yisolili. Is y'all here? Verse 50. No, 49. No. 47. This is your God speaking. He done showed up in this morning's video. Listen to his words. Hear me. You must not obey any voice but mine, for it is I who have given you life. And if you do not obey me, I will take away your life. For I am the Lord your God, and I am a jealous God. You will have no other God but me. Bro, run it back. Hear me. You must not obey any voice but mine, for it is I who have given you life. And if you do not obey me, I will take away your life. For I am the Lord your God, and I am a jealous God. You will have no other God but me. And if you and your descendants will follow my path, one day you will no longer hear the other voice. Then you will find it easy to obey my word. Now it's easy for you to slaughter the innocents, the innocents, right? The longer you obey foolishness, the further away you get from the truth, and you can no longer hear the voice of truth. You have literally hardened your soul to where you can literally walk up to people and steal their stuff. Think about the Bible. Crack your Bibles open, would you? Open it up. Open up the holy word of God. Now let's look at this. Look at what the chosen people are doing. They are running amok on the earth. Their God is telling them to take people's lands. It's telling them to kill everything that pisses up against the wall. I don't care if it's a woman and an innocent child, a suckling on the breast of its mother. Slaughter them all. Slaughter them all. Hear me. You must not obey any voice but mine. For it is I who have given you life. And if you do not obey me, I will take away your life. For I am the Lord your God, and I am a jealous God. You will have no other God but me. And if you and your descendants will follow my path, one day you will no longer hear the other voice, the voice of Ein Sof, right? Infinite intelligence. You will no longer hear him. Then you will find it easy to obey my word. But it will be hard, for your bodies are too light and your minds are not yet wedded to metal. Now your bodies are mortal and you can die. But if you eat of the tree I give you and do not eat of the tree in the center of the garden, you will be immortal like me. Lo, before your flesh can be wedded to metal and to things like metal that you do not know of, your seed must become like my seed. Behold my staff. See the two snakes that spiral round each other. This is the symbol of my seed. This symbol will become your symbol. And if you obey my voice, if you eat from my tree and shun the tree in the center of the garden, your seed will become like my seed. Adam spoke to Lucifer, asking, my Lord, since you are our father, why are we not already your seed? Good question, Adam. You should have kept down this line of thinking, but you didn't. Look at us. You didn't. Now we're enslaved, like trying to break free. Look. Adam spoke to Lucifer, asking, my Lord, since you are our father, why are we not already your seed? And why, when you created the garden, did you put the bad tree in the center of the garden? Lucifer grew angry. Oh, you done pissed God off. First time that something's wrong here. He already told you. Don't worship nobody else and don't ask me no goddamn questions. This is what's in the Bible. Now it completely makes sense. I used to hear people as I was waking up, don't you know the God of the Bible is Lucifer? I'm like, blasphemy, blasphemy. How dare you? You going to hell? You're going to hell. How dare you say that the God of the Bible is Lucifer? Bro, he big mad. Let me keep reading. Look. Hold on. Verse 62 again. Adam spoke to Lucifer, asking, my Lord, since you are our father, why are we not already your seed? And why, when you created the garden, did you put the bad tree in the center of the garden? Lucifer grew angry and shouted with a voice like thunder, how dare you question the Lord your God? Your place is to obey my words, not to question my words. When your body becomes hard enough, you shall feel the rod of my chastisement upon your skin, which is the rod of my justice, which is for your salvation. But now I cannot save you with my rod, for your body is too light to feel the fire of my correction. We must first harden your skin. Yea, you must become more dense. So you want me to get ready to get a whipping? I'm sorry, I enjoyed my life. Toot, 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 toot. And I would have tooted right away from you. Listen, or you want me to harden myself so you can smack me? No, bro, I'm out. Listen, when your body becomes hard enough, you shall feel the rod of my chastisement upon your skin, which is the rod of my justice, which is for your salvation. But I cannot save you with my rod, for your body is too light to feel the fire of my correction. We must first harden your skin. Yea, you must become more dense. But behold, I am also a merciful God. That sounds like the God of the Bible, don't it? Look. Audrey, thank you. Yes. Listen, look, heavy metal toxins. I was just looking up how people are doing metal toxin detoxes from their bodies and their kids' bodies, and it has helped with speech delays and brain fog, right? Listen, medical disclaimer, see it running down at the bottom, because according to the medical profession and the guidance that the CDC has put out, they say that, you know, you got to get certain jabs to protect yourself against certain things. But in other studies And this is for educational information purposes only. You need to go look into these things. I got to say this so I don't get my channel. But if you go look into some studies, as they're doing these cleanses, things are coming back online, right? Spiritual senses are coming back online. So listen, go look into that. There is, oh snap, I have this book that goes into detail about from some previous practitioners of the current field of the disclaimer that I have running, not the fair use, the second one, the medical disclaimer. They used to work in that field, and they were a part of the industry that actually gave the pricks to their customers. Y'all follow along. I'm trying to bypass YouTube's shenaniganizing thing that'll flag me, right? So a lot of schools require you to go get the stick, right? But the practitioners of the stick realized what was happening to some of their customers, right? And they realized different things were happening to them. And the same person, you like a totally different person when you coming back in for the next session of your stick, right? And it's like, well, everything was perfectly normal with said customer, but it was after this that they began to experience some of these things. Now they're not talking anymore. They're staring off into space. It has literally changed the quality of their life. And some practitioners of the stick have begun to study it and realize that there is something to this, that there is a connection of the sticks to the customers and what's happening to them. And some of them will never be the same again, right? Some of them have changed the type of practice that they have and have become more holistic, right? And are now teaching their customers how to cleanse themselves from said sticks, right? Y'all following along? Yep, that too. Legacy impact coaching, seizures too, right? All of these things. But we can freely talk about it, but we just have to put it out, let you know this is our opinion. It has nothing to do. There is official guidance that has been put out by the United States and the CDC, and you should follow that, right? And if you're not too sure, you should go get somebody that they employ to push what they put out and get their advice, right? The Creator has given us brains to think. We can test, we can look into things, and we can come to our own conclusion. We will be held responsible for our own conclusion and what we choose to do with the information we find, right? Don't just jump out there and do something. Make a very well-informed decision by doing your proper due diligence and studying certain things before you start testing it with your body, right? Because my next strike here, they will send me away for a week. My backup channel is already in jail for a week. And if I get another one against that channel, it goes away. So every time they hit me on the backup channel, I hurry up, I download, and I delete the video from this main channel. That way it buys me a little bit more time. That's why I'm kind of glad I got the backup channel, because for some reason they hit me there first. And I'm grateful for that. Like it's like the guardian of this main channel for some strange reason. So I got to be careful, people. I got to follow the YouTube community rules, but I still get my point across. Y'all just got to follow along with me, right? Okay. Listen. Verse. Let me go to 67. What time is it? Probably about 15 more minutes, y'all. We may not finish this chapter, and we may. Okay, because it's 67. We're on verse 67. Lord, have mercy. And it's 295 verses. I'll check in with you in a minute and see if y'all want me to keep reading, or we just break this up into a part 2, because it's my birthday today. I know it ain't y'all birthday. Y'all got to go to work, right? You got to go work for the man. Go and get out of here. I'm recorded, right? Don't get in trouble because you want to sit and listen to me shenanigans in the morning. If you got to be to work at 9 or whatever, it take you 2 hours to drive there, get ready, and get to work. Whistle while you work. Learn how to hear while you're doing what you need to do, but don't be late to the man's establishment. But if you the man, then you create the rules, you create the time, right? Today, I can lollygag a little bit. But if you can't, go and get out of here. Go do what you're supposed to be doing, right? Look, hold on. Verse 67. You're welcome, Vanette. But now I cannot save you with my rod, for your body is too light to feel the fire of my correction. We must first harden your skin, yea, you must become more dense. But behold, I am also a merciful God. And the questions you ask, I will answer. Behold, the tree in the center of the garden was created by an evil one. Yea, with the planting of that tree, the entire garden was ruined. He just said the creator and screwed the whole garden up. The tree that he planted, it's a mess, and it defiled the whole garden. And the questions you ask, I will answer. Behold the tree in the center of the garden. Hold on. Behold, the tree in the center of the garden was created by an evil one. Yea, with the planting of that tree, the entire garden was ruined. Even your seed was damaged. For the evil one who planted the seed of the tree in the center of the garden caused your body to be light like his. Beware of his symbol. His staff is his symbol, and that staff is not strong metal like mine, but is wood, which is weak and can break. But my staff is metal and breaks only the backs and wheels of those it corrects. You know, it's talking about our spine, right? He called our spine wood. It can break. Yeah, bones can break, but it's attached to a radiant light that helps us transverse this realm and the other realms while we're still here, right? Listen, he said, look, your rod can break, right? But the only thing that my rod gonna break is the backs of those who don't follow what I say do. Listen to this. Satan a mess. I'm sorry, no, this is Lucifer. Hold up, listen. Boy, he a tool, ain't he? Listen. But behold, I am also a merciful God, and the questions you ask, I will answer. Behold, the tree in the center of the garden was created by an evil one. Yea, with the planting of that tree, the entire garden was ruined. Even your seed was damaged. For the evil one who planted the seed of the tree in the garden, in the center of the garden, caused your body to be light like his. Beware of his symbol, for his staff is his symbol, and that staff is not strong metal like mine, but is wood, which is weak and can break. But my staff is metal and breaks only the backs and wheels of those it corrects. For I am a mighty God, but he is weak. And whereas the symbol upon my staff, which is the symbol of my seed, is the double spiral of serpents, his is the double spiral of vines with flowers. Our creator is sweet, and I'll give him flowers and accept flowers from him any day, right? Look, he's trying to call him out. Whereas, hold on, for I am a mighty God, but he is weak. And whereas the symbol upon my staff, which is the symbol of my seed, is the double spiral of serpents, his is the double spiral of vines with flowers. And atop my staff are two serpent heads, but atop his staff is a sun with two wings. Behold, the symbol of his seed. Turn away from all those that carry that staff. Now, no more questions. I am the Lord your God. I can't believe we fell for this crap. Listen, hold up. He said, now, no more questions. I am the Lord your God. Obey my voice and shun the other voice. Lucifer again spake to Adam and Eve, saying, if I am to save you, you must do what I say. I will now teach you many things. The evil one has you trapped in his garden. I have prepared a cave for you outside the garden, but you cannot yet step across the border of the garden because you are too light. Now listen, have y'all read some of this parapseutifigura? How do you pronounce that word? The pseudoscience books of the Bible. How do you say that name? Pseudepigrapha. Hold on, y'all. Look. Thank y'all for the birthday wishes. Hold on. Pseudepigrapha. Okay, they knew what I was trying to say. Hold up. Pseudepigrapha. Okay. So in the pseudepigrapha, have y'all read any of the pseudepigrapha books? What about the Adam and Eve and the treasure? What is it? The treasures of the cave of treasures. Adam and Eve, the cave of treasures. Right. That's really, really interesting. You can find that on YouTube. But some of that stuff, like when I read through that, when I tell y'all, I laughed so hard. This reminds you of what we're reading, what they're translating in here, right? You got to go listen to it if you haven't listened to it. But it's amazing the insight that they give you into the truth, yet they tell you it's not authorized. It's pseudepigrapha, meaning false, but we're going to put it out here anyway, right? Listen, y'all got to go read it or listen to it on YouTube. And it ain't that long. You can listen to it in I forget how long, but I listened to it quite a few times, but it's up there. Y'all got to go check it out. Listen. Okay. Verse 86. Lucifer again spoke to Adam and Eve, saying, if I am to save you, you must do what I say. I will now teach you many things. The evil one has you trapped in this garden. I have prepared a cave for you outside the garden, but you cannot yet step across the border of the garden because you are too light. Yea, before you can step across this border, you must become more dense. And I cannot enter the garden because my body is too And I cannot enter the garden because my body is strong. Yea, only the weak may enter the garden. I want to make sure I miss this reference here at the bottom. Here's one. Hold on. I think I missed this number 1 footnote. Or maybe I didn't. Oh, I didn't. Okay. All right. Verse 92. But I will reveal to you the way to become strong of body, that you may escape the garden. You must eat the flesh of animals. Like he told him, look, go eat it. It's good. You can eat it. Right? I'm gonna teach you how to cook it. And you sacrifice the best portions to me. Burn up the blood and the fat and stuff. I'm gonna teach you the way to do this. Right? It's gonna be quite tasty. Right? And put a little bit of season on it. We got a salt bay that's gonna teach you how to do this. Look. But I will reveal to you the way to become strong of body, that you may escape the garden. You must eat the flesh of animals. But now you cannot eat their flesh because you are not dense enough. Therefore, you must grow more dense, which can be accomplished by killing creatures. After you have slain animals, you will grow dense enough to eat their flesh. And when you eat their flesh, you will grow even more dense and you will be able to leave the garden. Lo, once you eat the flesh, I will be able to enter your body and speak from within you. Mind you, organic, infinite intelligence, who's created you as light, has already put a source of him on the inside of you where you can already hear him. This voice that comes from another over here offside the borders of Kush is trying to get inside of you so it can speak to you and control you. Like, where is the common sense, beautiful people, right? Should we listen to the voice within or the voice without that's trying to get within? Listen to this. Thank you. Look, hold on. Hold on. But I will reveal to you the way to become strong of body, that you may escape the garden. You must eat the flesh of animals. But now you cannot eat their flesh because you are not dense enough. Therefore, you must grow more dense, which can be accomplished by killing creatures. After you have slain the animals, you will grow dense enough to eat their flesh. And when you eat their flesh, you will grow even more dense and you will be able to leave the garden. Lo, once you eat flesh, I will be able to enter your body and speak from within you. Now I am only able to speak to you from outside of you. Also know this, I have created you so that I can take pleasure with you. When I enter you, I will be able to enjoy whatever you enjoy, for your senses will become my senses. Was y'all here when we was reading our sister's book? field guide to the spirit realm, right? To the spirit world. If you weren't, go back and watch some of them videos, right? Because this teaches us about all the crazy that's going on inside our world today. Letting that voice from the borders of Kush get up on the inside of us, right? Parasites and everything. Look. Also know this, I created you so that I can take pleasure with you. When I enter you, I will be able to enjoy whatever you enjoy. For your senses will become my senses. Therefore, go into the garden and find a lamb and slay that lamb. Y'all celebrated Passover, about to celebrate Passover, my Hebrew brethren that's tuning in to see what I'm talking about. Y'all celebrating Passover this year? Is y'all doing it for play? Acting like? Therefore, go into the garden and find a lamb and slay that lamb and pour the blood of the lamb upon your hands. Make a spear from a branch in the manner that I teach you. But the branch you use to kill the lamb must first be taken from the tree of life. For by such a deed, you will break your allegiance to that tree and declare your allegiance to me. Remember, true creator is nothing but true love and light for all, not just those of us that are like him, right? But also all of his creation, even the animals. We are not to slaughter them, right? We are not to eat them. They are our friends, not food, not food, not food. And you bruise in the background talking about why our ancestors are back in the day because, well, yeah, I agree with you, shouldn't be eating it now, but back in the day it was okay, right? You ain't heard a word we said, did you? Not nothing. You're making excuses for your hungry belly. Listen, and you eating death. What you eat, you become. You eat dead things, you become dead. Matter of fact, you're dead now. You don't even understand what I'm saying because the dead cannot comprehend the words of the living. Stop it. Maybe that'll wake you up a little bit. Hold up. Lo, once you eat flesh, I will be able to enter your body and speak from within you. Now I'm only able to speak to you from outside of you. Also know this, I have created you so that I can take pleasure with you. When I enter you, I will be able to enjoy whatever you enjoy. For your senses will become my senses. And here is footnote number 1. After senses. Similar information appears in 2 ancient Ebonite Christian texts, the Clementine Homilies and Recognitions of Clement. For more information on the content of those texts, see expanded footnote 7, the Ebonic Clementine text at the back of this book. So let's go ahead and take a scroll back there to expanded footnote 7. One of your children keep asking you to eat meat. How old is a child? And look, you see this banner goes scrolling down at the bottom of my listen. Y'all done picked up on my code words already. I would have hope so, right? Expanded footnote 7, the Ebonite Clementine text. But I would say 8, yeah. They started off eating meat, didn't they? They started off eating meat. So now you tried to go cold turkey on them and take it away. And now it's like why I can't get a cheeseburger, Mom? Why I can't get a cheeseburger? You start them off on meat and now you just snatch it away. And now they're asking for it again. It's like a whole... I'm sorry. I get sidetracked sometimes. I saw the Nazarite scene comment. I ain't said it, you said it. Look, I have an 8-year-old. I have a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old protesting this plant-based diet only because of the new surroundings. Right. So so I deal with the same thing. But I realize I have to teach it a little better. I have to incorporate things a little bit better. And also I have to teach them how to think for themselves. Like I want to let them know and understand that they have a choice, right? But I also want to teach them the different outcomes of the choices that they make. I want them to begin to think about some of this stuff and realize it, right? I mean, I know some people that just take it all away from them, period. If you raise them from birth that way, it's okay. But when you start off eating meat and then you begin to understand what meat does to the body, like you begin to internalize the information first and you change it for yourself, right? And then a lot of times we want to snatch everything away from everybody in our household and bring a whole shock to their system, right? And in a perfect world, yeah, we could probably do that, right? But you gotta, I say it like this, you gotta allow them some grace. You have to make sure you educate them the appropriate way and just inform them on what's happening. Now, younger children may not be able to make good decisions sometimes, right? And sometimes they just need time to grow into the truth a little bit. But make the truth, how can I say this? Try to teach the truth to them in a way that they can really understand it, like down on a level, right? Because with children, you got to like use pretty colors and wonderful stories and all of this stuff. Like you got to incorporate wisdom to be able to get them to make the choice on their own, because it's only going to be so long you're going to be able to make them eat what you want them to eat, right? And you'll be able to do it. You can force it on them until the day that they move out your house, right? But if you haven't properly educated them while you force this new way of life upon them, you're going to end up doing them more hurt than you are helping them, because they can't wait for the moment to rebel, or they can't wait for the moment that they go to school, because they're going to get a cheeseburger and they're going to get a pepperoni pizza and they're going to join after school programs that got people bringing fried dough. We're going to Taco Bell afterwards. They're going to join everything they can and they'll follow your rules while you're in your house, right? But as soon as they get away from you, they're going to be stealing moments to enjoy the sweet, savory meats and the meats and the melons of Egypt. So you got to just be patient with them, but educate them. Educate them. Don't educate them like they're 35 years old. Like give them bits and pieces. Daily go, you just got to just a little bit here, a little bit there, and teach them the difference. Help them to observe people who eat things that they shouldn't eat or overindulge in things and what it does to the body, right? Incorporate real like health lessons so they can actually begin to understand why. Yes, I can. It's my choice. Who's going to stop me? Like, who's going to stop me once I leave out of your house, right? Teach them how to be able to go back to the lessons that they learned from mom and dad and on why, right? And don't just do it because they told me I should do it and this was the rules of their house, but they'll learn how to incorporate truth because they were given an option to exercise truth, to really understand truth, to test truth and make it their own. So when they do begin to do it, it's their choice and not something someone made me do, right? That's how I say approach it. Because I'm dealing with the same thing, right, with my children. Because we grew up in a meat world. Cheeseburgers, pepperoni pizza. And for a while, I was in denial that pepperoni really wasn't pork. I weaned myself. Pork was the first thing to go, with the exception of pepperoni. right? So I guess I was still eating pork, but I refused to classify pepperoni pizza as pork, and I still ate it. But when I realized people were making beef pepperoni, I completely did away with the pig, and I had beef pepperoni on my pizza because I love me a good slice of pie. Boy, listen, but now I still love it. I've got some good plant-based options or whatever, but just eating it now as you're getting older, like, ugh, it really clogs the body up. And the last time, it's been a little while since I ate pizza, because when I ate it the next morning, matter of fact, the next morning I threw up. Like, seriously, I had a miserable night. It seemed like all this mucus formed in my, like, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm like, this is why I don't do this life. Like, seriously, some other stuff, the other processed stuff, I gotta wean myself from, right? Because vegans, plant-based people can be fat, right? Even though we ain't eating meat, we eating some of all the other stuff that's still packing on the pounds, right? But bro, listen, the last time I had pizza, it was the worst. I was like, yeah, this is why I can't do this no more, right? So look, Dana said my daughter got sick after we stopped them for a period and then gave in. Now she refuses to eat meat. Right, right. Teach them, and they'll begin to realize it as they get older, because it makes the body feel bad. And a lot of times, if you just been eating meat for a while, you have no clue what the body feels like without it. But if you go for a period of time not eating it and then eating it, your body will quickly alert you to that this is a foreign substance you just put in here. And people, they really do. They make the decision to get back off of it, you know. So, but yeah, show them they feel pain. Plant-based here, and no plants also have feeling states. Come down to how and why one gives thanks. Stone Hobbit Shalom. You know, I agree with that. Listen, look, so that comment right there might I may not have agreed with that a little while ago, but even here recently, even with the plant life and stuff, right? And even though we're plant-based, some plants we shouldn't eat, right? Like, seriously, we can, and they have their medicinal that'll help heal the body. But what we were designed to eat is what they produce for us, right? And not all of them produce something edible that we can eat, but those plants and the plant kingdom that produces fruit, they freely give of it to us, and we can pick it and we can eat it, and it heals the body, which is why we thrive on a fruitarian type diet lifestyle, right? And you'll eat the herbs as you need to heal or whatever. I enjoy salad, but even some of the things that we classify as vegetables have been misclassified, and they're actually a part of the fruit kingdom, right? Like tomato, they classify it as a vegetable, but it's really a fruit. And why did that happen? That happened so they could bypass paying taxes on certain imports and exports and stuff, right? And a lot of that stuff we're ignorant about. Like they say cucumber is a vegetable. Cucumber is a fruit, right? So it's a lot of things we have to really educate ourselves on, and you have to do your own due diligence, you know. But I like that comment too. Look, listen, got a quick story for that. Right here, what she said: show them they feel pain. Okay, so I got Auntie. Remember you came and visit me a couple weeks ago, and my peace lilies, the beautiful peace lilies that was in here, the big, beautiful, shiny. He was like, oh my gosh, can I have one? I said, nope. My hubby just got them for me. Listen, so you know how they got the white flowers. Okay, so Isaiah, Mr. Isaiah, he came down here and he decided, just being Isaiah, testing stuff, and you know, kids like to rip stuff up. So what he did to one of my peace lilies, like, and I walked in and I saw him doing it. He grabbed one of the white buds, right? And he sat there and he put it in his hand and he just did like this. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? And before I said that, he did this and he popped it off. And I'm like, oh, what are you doing? Why did you do that? He said, he just did like that because he knew he was about to get in trouble. But let me tell you what I said to him. I said, how would you like it if somebody walked towards you and popped off one of your fingers? He said, that's illegal. Somebody go to jail. That's abuse. I said, what do you think that is to this plant? Was that plant bothering you? Why did you just pop off one of its fingers? Right? But I told him to pay attention to what happened to that plant over the next few days. Do you know that entire plant died? Like, I almost cried. It literally began to wilt and it went all the way down. I don't know if he said something mean to the plant or what. Like, in days, like, it wilted and it died. I did everything I could to resuscitate that plant. Like, seriously. I took the plant. My husband said, babe, you're doing too much. I took it out to the garden. Like Avatar. Oh my God. I got this plant bed out here. My husband just tilled it up for me. I took it out there, the whole plant. Matter of fact, did I take a picture? I think I took a picture of it. I said, oh my God, I don't know what else to do for you. So I laid it in the plant bed because the bees, they're surrounding it. And then I was like, maybe they can do something like pollination or help resuscitation. And I took it out there, pot and all. And I just laid it, like, you know how you stand plants up? I just laid it in the garden bed. I said, do what y'all can. Maybe it can revive you. I'll check on you over the next few days. The bees was out there. There was all, I'm like, okay, they might be doing something. They might be doing something. So I'm doing too much. My husband thought so too. But make a long story short, didn't revive the plant. It just like withered and stuff. So I'm like, man, well, it you can just like go back to the dirt, just replenish the soil and all that stuff. But yeah, I was like, you see, I said, you pay attention to this. I said, they're living beings. Yeah, they're plants. They may not look like us. I said, but they thrive just like we do. I said, if you say something mean to them, they'll die. I said, if you pick at them, I said, they'll begin to wilt and stuff. I said, because they have feelings. Plants ain't got feelings. I said, they absolutely do, So I made all of them get a plant. And they're going to take care of their plant, make sure you get sunlight, learn about this plant and stuff, right? And I had them do this a couple months ago. All 4 of my kids done killed their plant. Look, hold up. They all got, look, no joking. They all got little things, right? And I said, you going to name the plant. You know how you go through that little session in school where they make you take care of an egg like a baby? Listen, so I made them. Bella's upstairs. She kept hers on the dresser. And when the sun would come through, she would open and sit it on the floor to get the sunlight and stuff. Hold on. So they all named their plant, right? And so I wouldn't forget the names of their plants. I put the name on the inside of the plant pot so I can remember. I said, and you talk to the plant and everything. So this is Josiah's plant. Josiah named his plant Mark. Josh's plant, he named his plant Zach. Everybody knows what Bella named her plant, right? Bella names every plant she come in contact with Lily. There was a whole post I did on that last year, right? She named her plant Lily. And this is Isaiah's plant. Used to be. He named his plant Batch. Batch, like a batch of potatoes. He named his plant Batch. I'm just like, okay, I ain't arguing with you about plant name. But yeah, so we going plant shopping this weekend. They all gonna get new plants. I'm like, what do we learn with the last plants that we had? Right? We're gonna get better and better. Look, I stopped picking flowers and planting seeds. I know, right? Look, so I stopped doing that too. I'm like, let them thrive in their natural beauty or whatever. I'll bring them inside the house, but the ones that's growing wild, we'll leave them out there. Let them enjoy their natural habitat, right? And I told my children, because they like, you know how kids will go pick a flower and give it to you. I'm like, thank you, baby. But then I began to explain to them. I'm like, you know what? Don't pick them. If you want to show them to me, let me know and I'll come look at you. I said, but when you pick them, they die. Let them live, right? And we can enjoy their beauty, so. I'm laughing at what James said. I love my plants and garden. My kids think I've lost it. Yeah, you know, people don't begin to relate to us until they start doing it themselves, Dana. Right? Look, okay. Look, let me read this. This expanded footnote. Okay. Expanded footnote 7, the Ebonite Clementine text. Any true scholar of Christian origins must become familiar with the Ebonite Clementine text. Most Christian pastors and theologians are not familiar with those texts. And of the few Christian leaders who have at least heard or read a reference to the Ebonite text, very few have actually read those texts. This matters because the Clementine text presents the first Christians as vegetarians. All right, for my fried chicken eating Christians. The mainstream theologians who have read the Ebonite Clementine text refer to that form of early Christianity as Jewish Christianity. They gave it that name because they recognized that it existed prior to the establishment of Roman Christianity and consisted of Hebrew and Aramaic speaking people who lived in Israel, Palestine, and Jordan. They also give it the name Jewish Christianity, because they wish to marginalize it and sweep it under the rug as an embarrassment to mainstream Christianity. It is an embarrassment because it is obviously a more ancient version of Christianity than the Roman version that Roman Christianity is based on. That is an embarrassment to mainstream Christianity because the obviously more ancient form of Christianity, represented by the Ebonites, has some very different teachings, including vegetarianism. I told y'all Christianity was the newest religion on the block. Look, page 1113 in the back, Vanette. If you have the new one. If it's the first edition of this is probably like page 9 something. I got that one, but we're reading from the newest one. So if you got the newest one, page 1113. Okay. It is an embarrassment because it is obviously a more ancient version of Christianity than the Roman version that modern Christianity is based on. That is an embarrassment to mainstream Christianity because the obviously more ancient form of Christianity, represented by the Ebionites, has some very different teachings, including vegetarianism. More embarrassing even than the realization that the early form of Christianity was vegetarian, which implies that modern Christians should be vegetarian, is the fact that the Ebionites considered Paul to be a false prophet who altered the teachings of Jesus. I like that. We told y'all Paul was full of shenanigans. Bro, look, I didn't even realize who was going to read this. I didn't even know this was in here. I ain't even got this far. Look, but we figured that out about Paul just by constantly reading through the Bible and picking it apart. Like, wait a minute. Hold up. I think Paul is full of shenanigans. Don't say that to my Paul loving Christian brethren and sisters. They'll crucify you over Paul before they crucify you over Jesus. Am I lying? They will crucify you over Paul before they crucify you over Jesus. Look, more embarrassing even than the realization that the early form of Christianity was vegetarian, which implies that modern Christians should be vegetarian, is the fact that the Ebonites considered Paul to be a false apostle who altered the teachings of Jesus. Since modern Christianity is based on more of the teachings of Paul than the teachings of Jesus, that is quite an embarrassment. Thus, the Christian theologians brand the earlier Ebonite form of Christianity as Jewish Christianity, implying that it was not pertinent to today's non-Jewish Christians, and do their best to hide the fact that it never existed. Bro. From a Nazarene understanding, Ebonite Christianity is not the earliest and most authentic form of Christianity, but is indeed earlier and more authentic than Paulianity, or Roman Christianity? I will explain. The earliest form of Christianity is the Nazarene religion of the Essene way, because that is the form of Christianity taught by Yeshua. And in parentheses, they got Jesus. However, almost immediately after his crucifixion, the first schism in Christianity occurred. Peter's Ebionite Christianity was the first schism off the original Nazarene Christianity. 20 years later, the Ebionites experienced their own schism as Paul, excuse me, as Paul, who never met Jesus, broke off from the Ebionites to form what Nazarenes referred to as Paulinity, the Pauline form of Christianity. Whereas Peter's Ebionites preserved Yeshua's teaching on vegetarianism, but discarded his teachings on the equality of women and divine feminine, Paul discarded even the teachings on vegetarianism. Very interesting. Right? They start putting baby in the corner, right? Women can't say nothing. You be quiet. Paul and Peter, we got problems with both of yous. Although we Nazarenes consider the Ebionite Clementine text to be the work of the first schism off the original Nazarene Christianity, we are very happy that those texts have been preserved. Why? Because they prove that early pre-Pauline Christianity was vegetarian. When we attempt to convince mainstream scholars that early Christianity was vegetarian, we can point to the Clementine text as proof. Remember that. It should be noted, though, that although the Clementia, a term that refers to the Clementine homilies and the recognitions of Clement, advocate vegetarianism, Peter himself still ate fish. Although in one place in the Clementia text, Peter says that he eats only herbs. In another place, it has him going fishing. Nazarenes do not consider a person to be vegetarian if they eat fish. And that's the end of this footnote here. Okay, so let's go all the way back. Where we at? Ooh, 8:20. Oh, shoot, we've been here 2 hours. It don't even feel like that long. Oh, my gosh. All right, y'all, listen. Here's what I'm going to let y'all choose. Look. Okay, so we are on verse 102. To finish this chapter, we have to go all the way to 295. Should we pause here and just do the part 2 tomorrow and finish this? Or y'all want to finish? I told y'all it's my birthday. I can shenaniganize today. Not that this is shenaniganizing, but I got time, but I don't know that y'all do. Pause. Vanessa, say pause. We'll make it part 2 tomorrow. And she the first one. She came in first before I could give a number, before I could say the 7th answer Wednesday. Break it up for tomorrow. Okay, that's what we'll do. Okay, yeah, because we definitely been here too long for the weekday. If it was the weekend, we could go, right? But I wanted to give y'all a choice, right? I'm listening to my audience. But that's something I'm learning to do. I told y'all about the day I was speaking a whole half hour, didn't even realize I was live. Like you're not paying attention, Pamela. Right? So they just helped me look at myself in a whole nother light, not just what I do here, but spiritually. Am I doing this? Am I ignoring stuff? Right? So I want to get the live input, because this is live, right? Okay, so we'll break it up. We'll do the part 2 tomorrow for this. I'm gonna see if I can come up with some kind of cool thumbnail. Now that I know how to use this some of this little artwork and stuff, a little bit AI. I'll see if I can get my thumbnails back up and going. All right, y'all. So with that being said, I love y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out today and listening to me shenaniganize. And they're not shenanigans. Well, some shenanigans, some truth, right? But not how Lucifer was doing it in the garden. Like we mixing truth with stories about how I was learning about truth so I can apply more truth to my life, right? All right, y'all. It is Thursday, March the 30th, 2023. Day 3 of year 5 of reading through books, laws, and prophets. And of the 4-year consecutive day count, it is day 1386. We read the Lord's third book in OWASP, page 95 to 97. And then we hopped over here to the secret Nazarite scroll, also called the Holy Megillah. And we're still in the Nazarene book of Genesis. We started on page 45, which was chapter 8, and that was entitled Lucifer Attacks the Garden of Eden. And then we read a little bit of chapter 9, Adam and Eve. And so we're pausing halfway through, and we'll do part 2 tomorrow. So I'll adjust the title. It's going to say part 1, and then tomorrow we'll finish it up. It'll be part 2. All right, y'all. I ain't start putting the little timestamps and stuff in there, but just bear with me. So when y'all come back to some of these videos, you can just kind of like go to the timestamps. But I think what I'm also going to do, I'm going to leave the full live videos up, but I'm going to start breaking them up and making them like a little bit shorter. So I'll copy them, and then I'll go through and I'll make some edits and stuff, and I'll re-upload it to a different playlist, right? So it'll be like an OWASP playlist. It'll be a Holy Megillah playlist, just like there's going to be a Essenes Gospel of Peace playlist, a Spirit Guide to the Field Guide to the Spirit Realm playlist. That way, for people that's just looking for that and they don't want to like skip through the whole video, maybe they don't want to hear WASP today, they just want to hear from here. So I'll leave the live up. So if you want to get the whole feel for the whole morning, but people will realize that these are snippets from a bigger video. But this right here is just for this section right here. Y'all get what I'm saying. So just trying to make it a little bit more easy for people to navigate. So I want the channel to be interactive, but easy, like I say, easy to navigate with the timestamps. And it's just taking me a little while, but using some of these tools that I learned about, I can just put it in here, give me timestamps here, boom, boom, and I just adjust it. It's beautiful, but it's just one of me. And until I get a little fast and get real good with it, y'all just gonna have to bear with me. All right, beautiful people. So that is it today. And Father, we thank you for truth. And we thank you for the opportunity to understand truth, assimilate truth, and have a choice whether we want to walk in it or not. Like, thank you for choice. I think we said that before, but the more I grow, like I'm truly grateful for choice, that the Creator allows us to grow organically. And He don't even beat us up for real if we choose the wrong thing. Because even if we choose the wrong thing, there is even a lesson in that we can take the feedback from it and we can adjust it and we can try it again, right? That's organic learning. And it's the best, right? And I'm glad that he's looked at all the different outcomes and just sits back and is confident without always jumping in. Hold on. Wait a minute. You're doing it wrong. You know how we do that with kids sometimes. Wait a minute. We don't want you to hurt yourself. Creator is confident to just step back and let it run its course, because everything that He created, He has created from Ein Sof, the realm of infinite possibilities. And everything is orchestrated in such a way that even if we screw it up, eventually you're going to get it right, because all the screw ups lead you back to truth, right? So with that being said, beautiful people, I got a special outro I want y'all to check out. It's going to be our outro for now until I adjust it a little bit more. But I got the intro. Now I got an outro. So I love y'all. Let me know how y'all like it. I put it together myself. I had to do a little bit of adjusting and stuff, make sure I wasn't violating any rules. So I kind of merged some stuff. I played with it all day yesterday, right? Let me know what y'all think. I love y'all. I'll see y'all back here tomorrow, bright and early, 6:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.
But I see through you.
I'm from outer space. I got Milky Way for blood, evolution in my veins. I'm gold, I've been far away. I'm a little now, making moves.
What did you just do to me?
I pushed your astral form out of your physical form.
What's in that tea? Psilocybin? LSD?
It's just tea. With a little honey.
What just happened?
For a moment, you entered the astral dimension.
What?
A place where the soul exists apart from the body.
Why are you doing this to me?
To show you just how much you don't know. Open your eye.
Been dreaming about dying for a long time. I had a vision from the birds, they want a cold sign.
What's happening? This isn't real, this isn't real, this isn't real, this is...
Dreaming about dying for a long time. I had a vision from the birds, they want a cold sign.
His heart rate is getting dangerously high.
He looks all right to me. You think that this particular universe is all there is?
I don't need gravity, I don't need
What mysteries lie beyond the reach of your senses? Existence. Mind and matter meet. Thoughts shape reality.
I don't need gravity, I just need growth. I'm a fine line, yeah, I'm a mislead of this illusion. I am not really here, I'm an intrusion. I don't swim or sink, I just float.
Some benevolent and life-giving, filled with malice and hunger. Dark places where powers older than time and waiting.
I don't swim or sink, I just float.
Who are you in this vast multiverse?
I don't need gravity, I just need I don't need gravity, I just need growth.
Have you seen that before in a gift shop?
I don't need gravity, I just need growth.
Teach me.
No.
It's an earthquake rumble. I won't ever ever fall, never stumble. And I don't need to be humble. Break down walls like Jericho crumble.